Hello people, today we're going to talk about one interesting thing which is called sunken lane or hollow way, hollow road. There's also um, a bunch of examples in different countries. For specific, for example, this is from France, and it's located at La Meuse, close to the district of Manche in France. So it's northern part of France. This one is a sunken way or sunken way, Whitley, Surrey. And these how the trees grow on this Holloway sites. It's another one, Hollow Lane in Canterbury, UK, joins the city of Roman Road, Stone Street. Yeah. Cangostra de Carbala in Ribera, Galicia, Spain, and many more examples like this. So let's check out the official information about it. So the sunken lane, sunken road, for the horse jumping obstacle, because sometimes the horses cannot just cross and just have to jump it. And sunken lane, also known as hollow way, is a road or track which is significantly lower than land on either side, not formed by the recent engineering of a road cutting, but possibly of much greater age. Uh, Getting rid of the theory that it was formed by the engineering of a much greater age, right? Various mechanisms have been proposed for how holloways may have been formed, including erosion by water or traffic, the digging of embankments to assist with the herding of livestock, and the digging of double banks to mark the boundaries of estates. Okay, these mechanisms are all possible and could apply in different cases. So they don't prove nothing here. They just say they all possible and could apply in different cases. Okay. Although they just said like a line before they said that could be possibly formed by the engineering of a much greater age. Okay. Means of formation. A variety of theories have been proposed for the origin of holloways. Different mechanisms may well apply in different cases. So that is literally it could be formed by whatever, right? Okay. The first one is erosion. Some sunken lanes are created incrementally by erosion by water and traffic. Have you heard about traffic erosion? That's quite similar to cultural layer theory, I think. Okay. Some of the very ancient, with evidence of Roman and Iron Age origins. Uh, so they're saying like Iron Age origins here. Actually, this is funny. But others such as deep hill rods. Let's see. What is deep hill rods? Oregon Trail rods. Let's see how they formed. Well, that's not quite similar, but okay, let's read. Um, in the Oregon Trail at the Gimpsy, Wyoming, and let's see, it's another one here. Okay. Developed in the space of a decade or two. What? Okay. Where ancient trackways have lapsed from use, the overgrown and shallow marks of hollowways through forest may be the sole evidence of the former existence. Of their former existence, okay? On disused ridgeways, disused, disused ridgeways in central Germany, the hallways often mark inclines. The earth banks on either side, sometimes topped with hedges and trees, can give the impression of a tunnel enclosing the traveler. Because the roadway is restricted by the banks on either side, sunken lanes typically admit the passage of only one vehicle. That is, there are single track roads. Occasional passing places may be provided by meeting the vehicles in a sunken lane often requires one party to reverse to suitable passing place. In central Germany, dual carriageways have been observed with two trenches side by side where the trackway was in such heavy use that it had lanes dedicated for each direction. Embankments for cattle, that's another theory, right? Up to the present day, some writers have assumed that low banks were deliberately created with shovels as a means to hem in cattle. But there is no evidence for this, and in any case, banking only appears intermittently in certain types of soil. When metal, sunken lanes are unlikely to erode any further down. Okay, so this is what they calling about probably these slurry walls, Madeline. I don't know how you, so it won't be sliding down, right? Double boundary banks. The making of the English landscape. Hoskins, W.G. Hoskins, explained the origin of some English hallways as a pair of matched earth banks marking the boundaries of two landowners' estates, as evidenced by the two-fold ditch traveling the boundary between the Abbot Tavistock land at Abbotscombe, Devon, and Richard's Coffin land at Alvington and Cockington. Damn. He gives another example also from Devon in a photograph of Armorwood Lane, Troverton, which bounded the Royal Silverton estate and the estate of Exeter Abbey, most likely in the 7th century. So he gives a photograph of the 7th century. Come on, where's this photograph? It's a 1955 book by English local historian William George Hoskins, illustrated with 82 monochrome plates, mostly photographed by Hoskins himself, and 17 maps or plans. It has appeared in at least 35 editions and reprints in English and other languages. Okay. Hoskins states that some such lanes are Celtic, some Saxon, and some medieval. Okay. So even the Hoskins guy doesn't state all of them, just some of them. Okay, it's what is written, guys. I'm not making shit up. I'm just reading what's written in his Wikipedia. In different countries, France, sunken lanes are common in the west of France, in the Bocage landscape, especially around Lower Normandy, Brittany, and Anjou. The Bocage landscape is historically famous for having been a particular feature of some conflicts, including Chouannerie and most Battle of Normandy. The German army used sunken lanes to implement strong points and defenses to stop the American troops on the Cotentin Peninsula and around the town of Saint-Lô. One such lane, the sunken lane on Hawthorne Ridge west and Beaumont Hamel in northern France, is remembered as the assembly point of British troops, which many of whom were filmed there on the first day of the Somme. Yeah, United Kingdom. Sunken lanes are a characteristic feature of the landscape of southern England, especially in the choke areas of the North and South Downs. The Greensland areas such as the Weald, the Surrey Hills, and has many sunken lanes. Seal Hollow Road in Sevenoaks is a fine example of a sunken lane in southern England. They are a particular feature of the West Country in counties such as Dorset and West Wales, areas unaffected by the land enclosures of medieval England. The English name Holloway derives from the Old English hollow weg, a sunken road. While many sunken lanes are not now metalled, some are still unsurfaced green lanes. Germany. One of the largest networks of such routes in Germany is to be found in the municipalities of Alzheim and Mettenheim and Rhineland-Palatinate, where they were make up over 30 kilometers of hiking trails. Some of these sunken lanes can be up to 5 meters deep, just like in Moscow. A sunken lane extending across a battlefield is in Belgium. It played an important role in the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, particularly in presenting an obstacle of the French cavalry. Victor Hugo dramatized this episode in Les Miserables. Okay, yeah, so he was probably the witness of the battle. What you gonna say about this, you officials? What is Victor Hugo? Born 1802, so he was like 13 years old during the Waterloo. I don't know. Should we believe it or not? Okay. United States. Aside from the Oregon Trail, sunken roads are found in the states along the Atlantic seaboard, where European settlement began in 17th century. In the Baltimore and Washington D.C. area, some sunken roads dating to that era have become busy suburban routes, which high embankments testify to the long history of traffic. A sunken road played a major role in many military operations, such as American Civil War battles of Antietam and Fredericksburg and Shiloh. Spain, in Galicia and western Asturias, both regions of northern Spain, the sunken lanes are usually called congostros e corridoros, from Latin concostra, confined as curro, currere, run, being a common and characteristic feature of rural areas. Some lanes are now being recovered as hiking trails. Syria. In Syria, faint traces of hallways attest to a dense network of tracks of paths connecting Bronze Age sites with each other and with their cultivation zones in the 4th and 3rd millennia BC, and thousands of kilometers of such routes have been surveyed. Very, very, very interesting. And some references here. I might go over this stuff again. But what we can see is actually frozen, not frozen, but dried out mud, clay. And what we see in Moscow below the ground is where the trees are not very good. Hanging on to forests of forest winds and stuff like this. You can see a bunch of trees are falling down. That's what we see below it. The same type of soil, which is similar to clay and mud, like 80% clay and maybe like 20% of mud, or something like this. Looks little rocks inside, so it totally looks like what I saw on the mining, not mining, I'm already call it mining, on the mud volcano during my summer trip. Okay. And due to official science recognition of mining as a cause of volcanoes, we should stick to this theory a little bit more closer and deeper and be more insightful when we talk about it. So up to 5 meters in depth of those holloways, just showing us the same type of flood, same type of um, same type of thing that we see in Moscow and many more places. This is obviously the evidence of the mud flood. As you can see, people just cleaned their roads that were used before and started using them again, because that was probably the best decision at that time. Because if the mud was too sticky and too hard to follow the track, whatever, and the horses would be not very good. When the mud dries out, you might as well clean up the road. That's the only way you can use the dry surface and not, as what these officials propose. They say this is, the erosion of traffic. So, I don't know if the traffic can dig as deep as, Roman roads and Celtic roads. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but if you just clean it up, that could probably make sense, because just walking on it, I probably won't clean it up. Okay, my kids are already awakened, and they are already awoke, so I might as well. Yeah, they know everything I know, so except the 3-year-old daughter I have, she doesn't know yet about the mud flood. Everybody else knows everything that I tell you people, because I shown this or that example in the place where I live, and of course they know that is not just for simply a basement or something like this, because people send me comments, this is the basement. I said no, and people send me pictures of Cambridge not being mud flooded for a century or something, and I said, like, yeah, they could clean up, and this is the best example. This Holloway is the best example to show that people could clean up. So I have to shut my broadcast. Kids already here, and they're already here. So thanks a lot for watching, and see you later. Bye. This year's weather is strange in Moscow. We have like not that very cold weather as we used to do, but sometimes we have like snowstorms. Like 3 times we had like a severe snowstorm like this, and I don't know, is this actually the thing that is the problem right now? But anyways, I find time to walk around, and I film a bunch of evidence. So can you guys encourage one more time the people to walk around their neighborhoods, find out those tracks of excavation? As you can see, here's the line of excavation is really visible, because on the right they didn't excavate it, and to the left we saw the so-called sunken building, or those so-called window ditches. Also is the sign of the mud flood. The doors on the second floors are also the sign of the mud flood, where you have the stairs, ugly looking stairs, for example, and the unproportional size of those so-called sub-basement windows, and rather ugly looking doors and stuff like this, and the steps up to the second floor. So this is what the window ditches look like on the side. Yes, this is the way to hide the buried windows, is to do the window ditch. But as I've showed before, the general facades law of Russia included so many facades types that could be used in the cities, and none of them included the so-called buried windows or window ditches. Only some of them had like really looking sub-basement, small windows, which have the distance be- from the ground, and none of them had like the entrances which were buried or windows which were buried. And as you can see, the difference of the excavation makes and the architectural artifacts that show us that there was a mud flood. So stick your head out of your Wikipedia source. Bye.